I am here with Gwenda, who is one of my absolute favorite people ever. Actually genuinely feel that way. And she is the author of about 1 million different things. I'm going to try and get them all. So we're going to see the Lois Lane trilogy and the Cirque American series with graphic novel.
Yes.
And Strange Alchemy, which was once Blackwood.
Yes.
And you have your middle grade series with your husband.
Yes.
And 2 serials.
Yes.
And did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
I think that's everything.
Oh, the Woken Gods.
Oh, yes. Okay, see, I knew I was going to miss one. All right. And then most importantly, all those things are really important. I really appreciate writing, but most importantly, she's also a mom to 4 amazing pets. So I love Gwenda, but what I love most about Gwenda are her pets.
This is true of everyone, I think.
I watch your Instagram and your Twitter literally for Stella Izzy Puck.
So you see that Sally has already destroyed like something and strewn it across the office.
I'm like, how long is that going to last? We'll see how it goes. And you're
or Christopher.
Oh, whatever. He loves it. He loves it. So that's the most important thing you want to know about Gwenda is that she has the best pet videos ever. And I love the romance or friendship between Stella and Sally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So
yeah, cats and dogs.
They just. Stella was such a perfect addition.
Absolutely. No, like they're obsessed with each other. And honestly, having a border collie puppy, if the cat would take over babysitting duty, I don't know how we would have made it.
It's a lot. I know they have a lot of energy.
I'll be like Stella.
Yeah, right? Come over here, take care of this. Take care of this. Oh, that's adorable. I love her. I love her.
The other day I went into the office because Stella's been hanging out on my office chair, and it's a rotating chair. And the dog had climbed up into and so they're both like, and she's kind of like hugging Stella.
I like that. It's such an unusual friendship.
I know.
So cute. They're perfect for each other.
They are.
Does Sally try and hurt Stella?
Yeah, I'm sure. And vice versa.
Like, I know who would win in that battle.
Oh yeah, totally. The cat.
So, question for you about Lois and Cirque American. Now that they're over, right?
Yeah.
What was the hardest part about saying goodbye?
Oh. Well, it's interesting because I feel like those worlds, like I could start writing in either one of them again tomorrow.
I would totally support that.
I would love to write Lois again someday, although I feel like there was a good arc there and it was a good place to leave it. And I'm so grateful that I got to do 3 books because when, I was contracted to do that, it might have just been one. So it was a real gift. But there is a sadness. Like I didn't know for sure, so it really was later, right? Like because you just never know. Like if you're in publishing, like they can always decide they want more. And I absolutely know what would happen next in both of those series.
You've already got it written in your head.
But a lot of publishing too is like you have so many stories you want to tell, right? And I'm really excited about everything I'm working on now. So I can't talk about it, can't talk about. So yeah, I mean it's bittersweet, but it's also always nice to like meet new characters and move on to new places.
I feel like you always have so many moving parts. Like I know you write full time.
Yeah.
So I don't know how even writing full time. I don't know how. And you are incredibly engaged with your pets and aerial yoga and online.
Well, honestly though, I mean my first several books, like up until Triple Threat, really was the first book that I wrote, not also having a full-time job. And so I kind of it's weird. It's taken me 2 years to get to the point where I can have a little balance and not feel guilty about not working all the time.
I remember when you were first talking about that, you're like, oh, like
it's hard.
Right.
Because you feel like, for one, you realize you're burned out.
Right.
Pause for a second. And it's interesting because the first project I worked on, literally the serial that we'll talk about that's going to be announced soon, that's going to come to later this summer, was the first idea I had as a full-time writer. And it was because the project I was working on, which I'll go back to someday, it was in space, which wasn't clicking. And so I was like, well, I've quit my job, I have no ideas, totally washed up, what am I going to do? And then I was reading a bunch of crime stuff and had this idea, and it was like a fully formed thing. And so, now 2.5 years later, it's almost a reality. So you just never know, right?
Yeah, and it takes so long to get anything from concept to
absolutely.
In hand, so.
Yeah, and I was over contracted, so now I'm kind of working on some things that Like I have a book that is not sold yet that I'm writing, and it's nice to write without a deadline. And then I have a project I can't talk about yet that I'm going to have to write in like 2 months. So it's
Really busy
nice.
this summer, right? Is that
Yes,
what you're saying?
very
Really
busy this summer.
So, talking a little bit about the world of Lois Lane, but the world,
Yeah.
the bigger world of comics, and how since writing Lois Lane, I feel like when you wrote it, there wasn't this big push of all the
true.
YA and middle
I
grade
was
now.
first.
You were first. So I'm just really interested in like what characters would you want to see come to life, and who would you want to write if you were having a chance?
Well, I still chat with DC, and they are doing a lot more YA and middle grade stuff. So hopefully I'll get to work with them again at some point. Obviously, I would love to write Superman someday again, like real, like adult Superman. I would love to write Lois and any of those characters. But also, I love Zatanna. Like I would love.
Zatanna needs a book.
Zatanna needs a book. I would love to do her. And Batgirl is a favorite of mine. So many, really, honestly. So we'll see what happens. Like, and I really do love. People are always saying, "Well, we're oversaturated with superheroes," and people. These stories are resonating with people for a reason. And actually, I feel like with all the stuff that's going on in the world, I feel like it is a time for like a shift. I love Batman, don't get me wrong, but a shift back from kind of the darker, grimmer, to more hopeful superheroes like Superman and Lois, are really kind of very relevant, I think, now when so many people feel anxious and filled with despair. Like those characters are very hopeful at heart.
Oh, I agree 100% with that. And I'm a reader that reads, like I read Hawkeye, but I read Kate Bishop. I don't read Clint
Absolutely.
Barton. I don't.
Right.
Why?
Right.
I like Kate Bishop so much better. So I'm like, there's a lot of stories to tell. So.
Right, and I feel like too. There's more humor. I really like with superhero stuff is shot through with humor. Like I love Margaret Stone's Captain Marvel and all the Captain Marvels, but she's so good. And Ryan North, who's around here. I mean, all of his stuff is hilarious.
Squirrel's like
The best. It is. It is. It is.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Well, talking a little about the world that we live in, you're really active. I mean, you're really active in starting the conversation, especially about the Me Too movement and all of that. And so I'm really curious about what advice you would give somebody who's ready to jump in and be part of it, but not sure how to do it yet.
Like somebody who has a story to tell, or somebody who wants to fight back against.
To fight back again.
Okay. So part of the reason why I felt like I feel like this is a unique moment, and when people started to talk about their harassers, especially the Kid Live YA world, because that's my world, that we had to support them, and that this was a moment when if things were going to change, that we had to really seize it. And as somebody who works in kind of the government political sphere, which is also racked with rampant harassment, and when I did speak up against it or try to support other things, like it was almost never a satisfying result. Like, and so it felt like finally, I'm free to say and do what I want. And I had this great model. My friend John Scalzi really fought against this in the science fiction community, and I found myself kind of sitting back waiting for somebody to step up, and a man to step up, because I felt like, and I'm glad I was proven wrong, that it would take a man calling to arms for people to take it seriously. But so when I put out a call asking for people to demand like real sexual harassment policies in action, I mean, I really thought maybe like I'll get like the 50 people who I know will sign this, not 1,500 people, including like some of the biggest names in the industry. And so it was a very stressful time. I mean, there is a lot of emotions because who among us hasn't had inappropriate comments made or know people who've been, I mean, I've been very lucky that I don't have a personal history with assault, but certainly there's workplace harassment. And I just feel really strongly that it's time for men to stop getting away with this stuff, and for us to support like safe spaces for women. And I mean, it's kind of crazy that it's taken taken so long.
I know, it's 2017. This conversation isn't new.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
And I feel like a lot of men actually are good guys, right? Not good guys.
Right.
Didn't realize this was happening, or did, but didn't feel they could fight back against it either because it's systemic. And so I do think that now we're in a moment where people feel like there are avenues to action. So, you know, my big thing is just supporting people, calling out stuff when you see it, and encouraging like the systems to have harassment policies in place, know what's going to happen. If you're at an event like this and something happens, to know where you could go and get help is really key. And it also sends a message to people that harassment's not going to be tolerated.
Yeah, I remember when they started implementing some of the policies here at West.
Yeah.
I thought that was so crucial.
Yeah, they were really ahead of the curve.
They were, which is not surprising because, of course, light is ahead of the curve, right?
Right.
Yeah,
but you know, no, I mean, it's interesting because I do think in children's lit, especially like people, everyone is so nice, and you don't want to believe there's always going to be bad actors.
Of course.
It's an industry like any other.
And it's so hard when you find out somebody you thought was great.
It
and
is.
You're like, oh, I've supported their work, and it's like
It
you
is.
take it on, right? You take it on.
Absolutely. It's you know, and it's sad. And a lot of people that do this stuff have terrible tragedies in their own personal history, but again, you can't pay that on other people, and there's always going to be consequences for their behavior.
All right. Well, I will let the next
I appreciate you sharing that.
Thank
I have
you
one more
so
question
much.
for you. And It's about your new cereal, and also, of course, I have to throw in my plug for Remade, which is Gwenda's first cereal, which I absolutely love. It is a sci-fi. It's not really dystopian, but kind of is.
Like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, and it is written by a huge cast of authors, and it's a huge cast of characters. I love it, so I cannot wait for your next cereal. So what can you tell us?
Okay, so my next cereal is called Dead Air. This is like the scoop that you're getting. We're going to do the full rollout soon, but it is about a journalism major in college who, on the heels of her cousin's death,
They're slippery.
under sort of untoward circumstances, gets obsessed with true crime, and she is working at a college radio station and starts telling the story of a local murder that occurred 18 years before involving a horse racing heiress. And she gets a tip that perhaps the right person didn't go to jail. And so the season really is her investigating and finding out what really happened, but also grappling with a lot of the ethical issues around reporting and true crime. And also she's on the radio to start with, and then it becomes an official podcast when she gets kicked off the radio. And so we're doing the full production of the podcast that go along with each episode too. So I think it's going to be great, and it's me. I created it, and then I'm doing 4 episodes, and Carrie Bryan of The Forest of Hands and Teeth is doing is one of the other writers, and Rachel Kane, who is like has these giant thrillers are blowing up, but also has written a million books, and I'm just like I've learned so much working with these guys, and we've had so much fun.
Is it just 3 of you writing it?
Just 3 of us, which honestly, with a mystery, it's hard enough because everything has to be nested, and the fact that we have like the show and the cereal. Like I don't know that with more people we could have made it work.
Right, that makes sense.
Well, without going insane. But it has really been a blast, and I cannot wait for people to.
So it's out in August?
Yes.
August. So if you are not a current serial subscriber or familiar with it, they give the first episode for free.
Yeah.
I will definitely be linking all the things cereal box in this because I want to support them as much as I can, and I highly recommend picking up all of the cereals, but in specific Remade. Yeah, they're coming up soon.
Yeah,
so.
if you liked cereal, the podcast, like this is a cereal for people who love cereal, as I
so
do.
happy. I'm like totally a true crime junkie.
Oh,
like
me too.
That's all I read when I was a kid was true crime.
I love it, and I love mystery, and so it's cool. It's gonna be it's fun, and it's my first adult project, so that was cool too.
Oh, you went to middle grade. You've done graphic novels, YA adults. So
I like to bounce around.
Picture book is coming next.
Ooh, picture books are so hard
They're
though.
so hard.
I don't think I could write a picture book.
Well, if you ever want to round out, do literally almost everything. There you go, right? Well, thank you for sitting down with me and sharing all your social details. I'm so excited.
Thank you. Bye.